What to do when things go wrong. Yeah, hey, what to do when Murphy's Law strikes. Essentially, that's what it's all about. Hey, I've even had trouble filming this particular video because Murphy's Law has struck me a few times. So here's my try again. Now, stick with me today because I'm going to share with you what you need to do before the event, during the event, and even after the event in some cases, to get your business working well with events. At one stage or another, you're going to fall prey to Murphy's Law. Now, what is Murphy's Law? It's often been said that Murphy was an optimist. However, he did say that if things can go wrong, they will go wrong, and in the worst possible way. And the same is true with events. If you're running events, anything can happen. I've had events where I've booked my own social group only to discover at the very last minute that the restaurant I'd booked them into went broke. Yep, that's very true. You turn up at the front door and they're closed. Yep. And I've also had a situation where I had a breakfast meeting and the speaker didn't show up. They showed up in another city and rang me to say, where is the venue? Yep, that can happen. I've also had events where I booked a tour and the tour bus was not available that particular weekend. Yep, it can happen, including even doing things like a walking tour, and it rains hours and hours before the actual event and only stops 1 minute after the event starts and all of your numbers are shattered. So yeah, Murphy's Law can hit you, and usually at the most unexpected time and the most unexpected way. The question is ultimately is how you respond to it. Now, when you're running events, it is inevitable that you're going to encounter problems. And if you are the type of person that has a short fuse, you blow up at particular things, you go off in a swearing tantrum, and you blast everybody in sight, and you're hot-headed and so forth, maybe running events is not for you. So you're going to need to either adopt a completely different attitude or to find a way how to deal with it and to deal with it quickly. My suggestion is this. The quicker that you have some better alternatives when things go wrong, you act confidently, decisively, and cheerfully, you will win over not only your customers but your suppliers at the same time. And you never know. If they see you as being the person who's got it together, even when you're under a little bit of pressure, and by the way, that pressure will disappear relatively quickly if you handle it the right way, they will say, hey, wow, this is the right person we need to deal with, even if things go wrong. And they'll love you for it. Trust me, they really, really will. Now, there's a few places where you're going to need some backup alternatives. The first of them is going to be before the event, and that is to make sure that your marketing isn't codependent on one single channel for actually booking your events. Because if you have to go to an alternative source, you can't do that at the 11th hour. If you go to a friend's email list, ask them to put out a mailer because your numbers are suffering, it won't work. At 99.99% of the time, it won't work because you won't have a relationship with your friend's database or your friend's email list. So don't expect that kind of an 11th hour bid to work. You've got to build in the future, and what you're doing, other alternatives for building in leads that come into your business and fill up and book and pay for your events. And the reality is also is to work out various different scenarios where things are likely to happen that you need to double check, say with your venue and so forth, leading up to your event to make sure that you're fully ready and fully prepared. The other next thing is to make sure, apart from doing a full risk assessment of your business and to make sure that your events are completely prepared for anything that goes wrong, just to comb through each different aspect of your business. That's pre-event, during the event, even after the event, to make sure that you've covered yourself for all the different potential risks. And this is vital because if it looks like you're taking all that forethought, when problems do come from out of the blue, it's not going to throw you in a tailspin. You're actually going to be completely ready for it, and you'll be practically looking forward to it. What I find is quite interesting is that the connection with reality usually has the greatest impact upon a business owner when they start running events. Usually it's at that time you're going to come across either some of the greatest positives or maybe some of the greatest negatives that life is going to throw in your particular way, and it's going to say, hey, wow, take notice of me. This is something that you really have to be aware of. And if you're willing to take notice of those particular challenges that come up out of the way, you're going to be prepared for it, because that reality is going to hit you a lot sooner than what you think. Now, what I also suggest here is to work out also various different ways how you can either make it sweeten for your particular group if you come across a particular problem, also to work out ways how you can deal with suppliers in a particular way, or have some backup suppliers that you have just sitting in the background and ready to go, and make sure that you keep in touch with all of these different people, because one day, which might be one day out of 10 or one day out of 20 or one day out of 50, you might need them. Now, don't be too overcautious that you plan everything thinking that something's going to go wrong, otherwise you'll attract it the other way and problems will occur because you're trying to attract problems. Have a balanced view about this, and that is, take it in your stride. Look at what you might have to lose, but go for what you're going to win. And that way, you'll be fully prepared. Now, if you like this particular video, and I sure hope that you do, I produce videos like this every week, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you can actually be notified as to when more of these videos come out. And also, look at these other different videos that I've got posted up here so that you can improve your business and improve your events. This is David speaking.